Okay, so I'll try to make this a short video. Just explain something again. So, one of the big reasons why there's so many homeless people, and it's not even really what you would think it is about, like the ridiculous bend you over and you in the ass with no lube level of fucking rent cost. Yeah, the rent is ridiculously fucking high. The rent is too damn high. It is. But that's not even really the real total issue, honestly. The issue is everything's managed. Everything basically, like in the old days, you had a person who owned a building. That person who owned the building rented shit out. You wanted to rent something, you talk to them. They'd generally be fairly decent folks and everything. Alright, never mind. Basically, management agencies fuck you in the ass so hard. And yeah, basically. And they have all these rules and restrictions and all this other crap. And it's all like most of the management agencies in reality are probably owned by like Vanguard, BlackRock, and Blackstone Group and shit like that, you know. So they're owned by these like massive. I mean, we're talking about companies that have a higher GDP than basically every first world country on earth. Then you could put together numerous first world countries and they don't have as high of a GDP or as much money as these people control. And those companies, actually, a lot of the decision making that goes on in those companies is done by artificial intelligence. I know how crazy that sounds to people. Oh my god, that's science fiction. No, I'm telling you, we literally have basically fucking Skynet managing our fucking apartment and home rentals and shit right now. You know, with a bunch of like, there's a middleman here and another middleman under them, and a middleman, middle. It would be like if you remember the movie Blow? Wait, I'm going off track here. I'll try to get back to the analogy of that later. But what I was basically saying, okay, so like, say there's an apartment. Oh, it's the cheapest apartment you can find. It's $1,500 a month. Gee, only $1,500 a month? That's not a ridiculously god awful, horrible motherfucking price for a shitty apartment. Oh, right. It is, but pretending that it wasn't, um, that's not really the issue. It's not an issue of, oh, can I come up with $1,500 and pay the rent and whatever other bills. It's, you see, someone has decided, perhaps it was the great wisdom of the fucking AI, like, well, there's this AI called Aladdin, or maybe it was the great wisdom of our loving government that cares about us so much. They decided that you really shouldn't spend any more than 1/3 of your income on rent. So, see, some super brainy folks, they figured this out for us because they're really helping us, right? So, what they did is in all the rental applications, they made it so that if you don't make at least 3 times the rent, then your application doesn't get approved and you can't rent the fucking place. So let's say you make $3,000 a month somehow, or you make $3,200 a month somehow. So you're making $20 an hour, or you're making $3,200 a month, or whatever right, or you know. I'm sorry, you don't meet our rental requirements. Bye bye. Too bad, so sad, right? No, you basically have to be making like $54,000 a year. What's it about? What's that about? Yeah, 4,500 a month, 54,000 a year. Uh, Essentially, in order to what's that come to an hour? Something like 28 or some shit. So yeah, but round up like about $30 an hour. So yeah, as long as you're making like $30 an hour, then and you've had that job for just like 10 fucking years, and you're a perfect little angel, and you've never spit on the fucking sidewalk or got you know never got in a bar fight or had any kind of shit ever you know and it doesn't hurt if you like are a dude that wears a dress apparently, or you know things, or certain ethnic things, right? No, no. Well, they're not. You see, also, they don't discriminate against a whole bunch of different groups of people that don't like to be discriminated against. But then there are certain other groups that don't seem to mind being discriminated against, so they get to be discriminated against. See, that's how that works. Like white people and straight people and etc., etc., etc. But yeah, there's no one to protect like certain, like there's so many groups special that are like special interest, and they have all these like groups are legally standing up to legal protections to keep them from being discriminated, and you say one damn wrong thing, oh my god, but for they'll try, but those various groups and whatnot, they have a bit of backup to like help them out. Plus, the people who are managing the place, right, have they know, that if they do deny an application or something, for instance, they could get accused of discrimination. So they're less likely to do that shit, right? But so yeah, basically, no problem. You wanna, the cheapest possible fucking apartment you can ever possibly find, even in, well, like around this area that I'm in used to be fairly small town, rural area, kind of. And there's a number of, a bunch of apartment complexes going up and shit, and little ones and rooms and apartments, and little places for rent around the towns all around this area that all generally used to be, I mean, like, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, pretty freaking small town. I mean, like the kind of town, well, dude, my grade school, not that far from here, the freaking mascot is the rebel. They got a freaking rebel flag and shit, man. And like everybody was like loggers, I mean, used to ride to school on the bus, and we'd ride past it, there'd be like buses full of loggers going up to the mountain every day, you know. They freaking like chainsaw shops all over the place, and you know, lots of guys walking around with their hard hats and, farmers and all that. I mean, that's what this place was, and not very that freaking long ago. It's growing. It's still not that big, but they're building up all these little little offshoot stores of corporations. So it's like growing in that sense, and they're building a bunch of apartment complexes everywhere. They haven't really done anything to like make the infrastructure any better to support the number of people that are trying to move in here, though. you know, Clogging up the streets and the fucking parking lots and everything. But, anyways, the point is, I'm not like in some kind of fucking major city area, and I think from what I've looked at online, I've looked at other states trying to find something affordable too. I've looked at various states all over the country, and very like in areas of different, trying to find places that are affordable. And I'm thinking like, yeah, $1,500 a month is about average, if not low, for like the cheapest actual apartment. Now, how I define an apartment is it's got a bathroom. You have your very own bathroom and your very own sink, and you also have some sort of kitchen, or at least like a kitchenette, That would be an apartment. Anything that doesn't have those things, at least, I would not consider that to be an apartment. That's a room in somebody else's mom's basement is what the fuck that is that you're paying for, and that's still ridiculously overpriced for that shit. So it's like, so much for making super short video. Still kind of short so far. But yeah, it's like, it's the restrictions, it's the requirements, They don't require that you make enough money or more than enough money to pay your rent. They require that you make at least 3 times enough money to pay your rent. And they require that you have years of rental history. So if you've never rented a place before, hey, fuck you, buddy. Right? And no criminals, unless the criminals are the buddy of the manager, the buddy of somebody who knows the buddy of the manager, or unless the criminal is ethnic, or a little happy, or if they just happen to be like connected to the right, they got the right connections, They flash some hand signs, yo, Fidelia, Fidelio, Fidelitas, or whatever the fuck, right? Oh, cool. Come on in, Whatever the fuck it is that gets them in. But it's like set up to be a fucking trap. It's, I don't see, there's not really a whole lot of options, honestly. It's like, I mean, shit, $1,500 a month is like a heavy fucking reaming. I mean, just to even pay that comfortably somewhat, just to even pay that without like really, really seriously feeling the hurt, you better be making at least $20 an hour. And that is if the damned income requirement wasn't there, right? Yeah, you better be making $20 an hour full time. That's if the income requirement wasn't there, basically. That would be to, if you could do that, and then still you could have a little savings, and you could and work towards a better future. Well, that ain't fucking happening, dude. But a lot of people are in these places. They don't get this shit because they've been in those places for like 10 fucking years or 15 years or whatever the hell. They haven't really had to deal with this shit because, they've had apartments or something for like, 10, 15, 20 years or some crap. So they're like grandfathered into the shit, Or they got some kind of like government assistance that backs them up, disability, social security, so on and so forth. Not everybody has that shit, As you may be able to see when you look around and notice the parking lot at every single grocery store or Walmart or wherever the hell you go. Just, happens to have a whole lot of kind of beat up vehicles with people sitting in them that seem to be loaded up with a bunch of crap. Almost as though they were living in those vehicles. And campers and leaned up against the wall under a piece of cardboard in some instances or whatever, etc. It's almost as though some people were having trouble affording housing. Nah. Just get a job. Just get a job. Just go get a job that pays $55,000 or $60,000 a year. Just like that. It's fucking easy. What's wrong with you? Okay. Okay, I'll do that now. Mama always said patience and persistence are... Alright. Yeah, right. Motherfucker. Go get a job that pays $30 an hour, yeah. I'll be sure to get right on that sometime in the next 5 or 10 years. In the meantime, I'll just sleep under a piece of cardboard. All right. I'll have my tent out in the woods, and I'll get up every morning and go to work. All right. I could be the next Will Smith. Like that movie. Or some of the other movies. I'll sleep in bathrooms at the bus station. Yay! Goddamn. Or I could stay in a motel for like damn near forever as long as I have a serious job. Then you don't even have to worry about anything except for all the other bills on top of the motel bill, which actually, motel bill's really fucking expensive too, kind of, so. Yeah, everything's just fucking great. Alright, then.